We've all been there. You have this brilliant world-changing idea. Maybe it's a new app, a groundbreaking YouTube channel, or a side hustle that could finally let you quit your day job. The vision is crystal clear in your mind, sparkling with potential. You feel that surge of excitement, that creative energy that makes you want to drop everything and just build. It's a powerful feeling, the kind that keeps you up at night, sketching out plans on a napkin or in a notes app. This is the moment where innovation starts, that initial spark of pure, unadulterated creativity that fuels every great invention and every successful venture. But then reality hits, and it hits hard. That big, beautiful idea suddenly fractures into a million tiny, tedious tasks. You need a website. You have to do market research. Who are your competitors? What's your marketing strategy? You need to write code, design a logo, create content, manage social media, answer emails, and on it goes. Your once inspiring vision is now buried under an avalanche of a to-do list, so long it could scroll for days. The creative spark sputters, bogged down by the sheer volume of administrative, repetitive, and frankly boring work that stands between you and your goal. This is the fundamental struggle for so many creators, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Dream is the fun part. The execution, with all its logistical hurdles, is the grind. It's the reason so many brilliant ideas never make it past the concept stage. We spend more time managing tasks than actually creating. We get so caught up in the how that we lose sight of the why. It's a universal problem that drains our most valuable resources, time and creative energy. We're forced to be project managers for our own inspiration, which is often the fastest way to kill it. So the big question has always been how to bridge that gap. How do we protect that initial spark from the hurricane of busy work that follows? We have assistants and productivity apps, sure, but they still require constant direction. They can manage the list, but they can't tackle it for you. You are still the one who has to check every box and make every single decision along the way. Wouldn't it be incredible if you could just hand off the entire to-do list, not just to manage, but to actually complete? That's the dream, right? To focus purely on the big picture. All right, let's get straight to it. What if you could turn to your computer and not just ask it a question, but give it a goal? I'm not talking about like, hey, set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm talking about something massive, something ambitious, something like your goal is to launch an online business selling eco-friendly coffee mugs. And then what if it actually started doing it? What if it could figure out the steps, do the research, write the code, and execute the plan all on its own without you having to guide it every step of the way? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, I know. This isn't just a hypothetical anymore. This is the core promise of a new type of AI that has been making serious waves online, AutoGPT. It's an intern with superpowers. You give it a high-level objective, a purpose, and it then goes to work. It doesn't just answer your questions, it asks its own questions, makes plans, criticizes its own work, and then takes action in the real world, like browsing the web or writing to files on your computer. The difference here is a game changer. With previous AI models, you are the pilot. You are in the driver's seat, telling it exactly what to do, one prompt at a time. Write me an email. Now write me a tweet. Now summarize this article. With AutoGPT, you're more like the CEO. You define the mission, set the ultimate goal, and then you let your new AI agent figure out the best way to get there. It's a fundamental shift from a tool that responds to a system that acts. It's the leap from a calculator to a financial advisor. This concept of autonomous agents is what makes autonomous agents so viral and so compelling. It taps directly into that dream we just talked about, the dream of offloading the grind. The idea that you can have an AI collaborator that works tirelessly in the background to bring your vision to life is incredibly powerful. It's not just about automating small tasks anymore. It's about automating entire workflows and complex projects. So, can your computer really build a business for you? We're not 100% there yet, but AutoGPT is one of the first real, tangible steps in that direction. So, what's the secret sauce here? How does AutoGPT go from a simple goal to a complex series of actions? It really comes down to a clever loop of three key abilities: thinking, planning, and acting. It's a cycle that continuously refines itself until the goal is met. Let's break it down. First, you give AutoGPT its name, its role, and up to 5 goals. For example, you are Business Bot, an AI designed to launch a new e-commerce store. Your goals are: 1. Research the top 5 trending products for home offices. 2. Find 3 potential suppliers. 3. Write a business plan. 4. Develop a marketing slogan. 5. Shut down once complete. Once it has its mission, the thinking part kicks in. AutoGPT, powered by a large language model like GPT-4, starts by reasoning about the goal. It asks itself, okay, to research trending products, what's my first logical step? It might decide its first thought is to use Google to search for best home office gadgets 2025. This is where its planning ability comes into play. It formulates a concrete plan of action based on its thoughts. The plan isn't just one step, it's a whole sequence. It outlines the need to browse websites, identify the results, identify recurring products, and save the findings to a file. Now for the magic execution. AutoGPT actually performs these actions. It can be given access to a web browser to perform that Google search. It can read the content of the top articles just like you would. After it gathers the data, it uses its memory, both short-term for the current task and long-term by writing to files, to remember what it has learned. It might save a list of promising products to a text file named product_researched extended. This ability to interact with its environment, to read and write files, is what sets it apart from a simple chatbot confined to a chat window. But here's a crucial extra step: self-criticism. After each action, AutoGPT reviews its own work. It asks, did that Google search give me what I needed? Was the source reliable? Is there a better way to approach this? This self-correction mechanism is what helps it stay on track and avoid getting stuck in unproductive loops. If it decides its initial search was too broad, it might refine its next thought to be more specific, like search for ergonomic home office products reviews. This entire cycle, think, plan, act, criticize, repeats over and over, with each loop bringing it one step closer to accomplishing the final objective you set. Alright, theory is cool, but what does this look like in practice? Let's move beyond the abstract and look at some concrete examples of what people are actually doing with AutoGPT and similar agents right now. One of the most common use cases is in-depth market research. Imagine you want to create a podcast. You could task AutoGPT with a goal like: analyze the top 50 podcasts in the technology category, identify common themes, episode lengths, monetization strategies, and create a report on potential gaps in the market. The agent would then get to work, browsing podcast directories, analyzing transcripts if available, and compiling all of that data into a single, comprehensive document for you. Another huge area is content creation and management. You could set up an agent to run your Twitter account. The goal could be manage a Twitter profile about AI news. Every day, find 3 interesting articles about AI, write a unique and engaging tweet for each, and schedule them to be posted. The agent would browse news sites, use its language capabilities to draft the tweets in a specific style, and with the right integrations could even interact with scheduling tools. It's essentially putting your content strategy on autopilot, freeing you up to focus on creating the core content like the videos or blog posts themselves. For the developers out there, the applications are even more direct. An agent can be tasked with building a simple application. For instance, create a functional Pomodoro timer web app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The app should have a start button, a pause button, and a customizable timer. AutoGPT would start by outlining the file structure, then write the HTML for the page layout, the CSS for the styling, and the JavaScript for the timer logic. It would debug its own code, identify errors, and rewrite sections until the application works as intended. It's like having a junior developer that never sleeps. Of course, these examples all come from the same core capabilities. Whether it's market research, content creation, or coding, the agent is using its ability to browse the web for information, read and write files to store its progress and code, and execute commands to accomplish its goals. While it might not build a Fortune 500 company overnight, it can absolutely handle these multi-step, complex projects that would normally take a human hours or even days to complete. It's a powerful tool for accelerating the initial, often most tedious phases of any new project. Now, before you rush off to download AutoGPT and task it with solving world hunger, we need a serious reality check. This technology is incredibly exciting, but it is also very, very new. It's experimental. Using it right now feels less like driving a polished Tesla and more like being a test pilot for a wild, unpredictable rocket ship. One of the biggest hurdles is that these agents can, and often do, get stuck in loops. They might repeat the same failed action over and over, or get fixated on a trivial detail, losing sight of the bigger picture. You often have to intervene manually to get them back on track. Another major consideration is the cost. AutoGPT runs on top of OpenAI's GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 API. Because it's designed to run potentially thousands of these operations to complete a goal, the costs can rack up surprisingly fast. Leaving an agent running overnight on a complex task could result in a non-trivial bill in the morning. This is a significant barrier for casual experimentation and means you have to be very specific and efficient with the goals you assign to it to avoid wasted cycles and wasted money. It's also important to know that AutoGPT isn't the only player in this game. The concept of autonomous agents has exploded, leading to a bunch of similar projects like Baby AGI and Agent GPT. Baby AGI is more focused and minimalist, designed to be a simpler framework for developers to understand and build upon. Agent GPT offers a more user-friendly web-based interface, which makes it much more accessible for non-technical users who don't want to mess around with installing code on their own computer. Each has its own strengths, but all of them share the same fundamental limitations of being in their early infancy. So the bottom line is this: the hype is real, but a healthy dose of patience is required. AutoGPT is a fascinating proof of concept that shows us what's possible, but it's not yet a reliable fire and forget tool for the average consumer. It's a glimpse into the future, but the present is still a bit buggy, a bit expensive, and requires a fair amount of technical know-how to get running effectively. Think of it as a developer preview for the future of work, not the final consumer release. So where does all of this leave us? Even with the current limitations, the emergence of autonomous agents like AutoGPT marks a pivotal moment in our relationship with technology. We are transitioning from an era of tools that require our direct command to an era of collaborators that can understand our intent. For decades, computers have been powerful but passive. They wait for our instructions. AI agents are the first step towards a future where they can be proactive partners in achieving our goals. This is a profound shift in what we can expect from our devices. The ultimate vision is a world where we can offload the how and focus entirely on the what and the why. Imagine being a musician and telling your AI agent, "My goal is to release my new single, handle the distribution to Spotify and Apple Music, create a promotional campaign with social media assets, and build a simple landing page for the music video." The agent would then orchestrate that entire complex workflow, leaving you free to do what you do best: create music. This will dramatically lower the barrier to entry for entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation. This doesn't mean humans become obsolete. It means our roles will evolve. We will become the conductors of an AI orchestra, the strategists, the creative directors. Our value will shift from performing repetitive tasks to providing the vision, the taste, the ethical oversight, and the high-level goals. Instead of being bogged down by the minutiae of project management, we will be freed up to think bigger, to experiment more, and to tackle problems that were previously too complex or resource intensive for a single person or a small team to even attempt. So as we stand here on the edge of this new frontier, the real question is for you. This technology is only going to get better, cheaper, and more accessible. It will move from a command line tool for developers to a simple button in the apps we use every day. When that happens, what will you build? What tedious, boring, and time-consuming part of your work or your passion projects would you hand off to an autonomous AI agent? What big idea would you finally bring to life if you had a tireless collaborator working for you 24/7? Let me know your ideas down in the comments.